After all the screaming, pushing, tearing, the moment of elation as she emerges, scarlet and squalling while everyone else kisses, embraces, then suddenly stiffens. She is rushed away, and the room holds its breath. The consultant approaches, trying to pull his face out of a grimace and into a kind of smile as he clasps your hand and says, "I'm sorry, but you have just given birth to a poet." "Let me explain," he says. "She will not be like other people, ever. She will be the kind of child that you encourage to be herself and then bitterly regret it when she does just that." "Is there any history of poetry in the family?" "Ah, a grandfather who wrote limericks and an aunt who dabbled in art, yes. This is a common mutation. Let's pray it's not a severe strain and she's only occasionally subject to mild depression and wild fantasies. Rest assured, we will do our utmost to help you manage her creative predilections. You'll need to keep her away from fountain pens and notebooks. Give her plenty of robust exercise. On no account allow her time to contemplate or muse. And above all, teach her the value of a proper day's work, for poets can be an idle lot. After all, it's unlikely that she will be any good. You can steer her away from a poet's life of debt, insanity and promiscuity by encouraging her to take up an admin role at an art gallery or university. When she complains about there being something missing, suggest Prozac, even homeopathy. After her divorce, her midlife crisis will involve slipping into some no woman's land of dreaming, scheming, and a second career as a life coach or creative writing tutor, where she will teach other poets to become creative writing tutors. Let her. It will act as an anaesthetic. You see, this syndrome is incurable. Whatever you do, whatever treatment we prescribe, she will keep trying to be a poet. Remember, you didn't do anything wrong. Do your best to love her anyway. There's still a small chance that one day she will cause you to be proud. Among you will have noticed that I am indeed a woman. If you are also a woman, please shout aye.
Aye.
If you're, the other one, please shout aye.
Aye.
And if you're a person who hates to be categorised, please shout aye. Oh, very sure of yourself. Sometimes people go, ooh, is she still talking about gender? Or is she thinking about categorisation in a larger scale? Who knows? But what I do know is I hate to be categorised, I hate to be judged, and yet it's something I seem to do to myself an awful lot. But I do seem to have a bit of outside help in this. I don't know, are you familiar with the experience of getting a song stuck in your head, going round on a loop? Thank you. Not just me then. Well, I got this particular song stuck in my head, jaunty little tune. But on about the 4,732nd time I repeated the chorus, because of course that's the only bit I knew, I began to listen to it a bit more carefully and sort of think about the connotations of the mantra that I was pummeling into my consciousness. Keep young and beautiful, it's your duty to be beautiful. Keep young and beautiful if you want to be loved. Buy face cream, the expensive stuff. Banish blemishes with cleanser, blusher, intelligent concealer. Indulge every cosmetic craving. Defy the 7 signs of aging by exfoliating yourself into a better you. If you want to be loved. Then work out. Yes, I said work out. Take CrossFit and aerobics, yoga and Pilates. Spin on a bike until you firm up or flip out. Remember, a moment on the lips equals a lifetime on the hips. So feel sinful as Satan when you eat a single biscuit. Then suck out, sew in and slice off. Blow your lips up into a rubber tire pout. Inject your forehead with poison. Paralyze your facial expression. Because if you could just be a bit more beautiful, surely even you could be loved. Never mind if you develop an eating disorder, clinical depression, rip for the delicate skin of your inner arms with razors, or just stuff your face and then when nobody's looking, stuff it further. Because being loved is all about your outsides. Don't imagine anyone cares about who you are on the inside. Take a lesson from marketing. It is all about the packaging. So as the cracks begin to show, make it your duty to fool the world and spend every last moment, thought and pound on ways to stay beautiful. If you want to be loved. So that's a bit of a plug for the ladies, but let's be frank, it's not really that easy being an adult of any form. I mean, who here actually considers himself an adult? Do you know that's nearly always, I don't know whether it's just poetry audiences, but quite often, let's get a little bit more accurate. Would you say that you're more of a kid walking around in an adult uniform? Yeah, is that a little bit closer to it? Yeah. So, because there's this awful thing about growing up that you think you have to kind of lose the kid, the child element. But I think you want to try and keep both those things in balance. Actually, that's not my idea. I nicked it from William Blake. But, but you know, part of that process of growing up is, I think, questioning pretty much everything you were taught as a child. Particularly those things you were taught by grown-ups, which they said made you a grown-up. So, when I was a child, I thought that sex happened sideways. That two people faced each other, and like the cross-section in the biology textbook, their parts interwove perfectly. Father once hinted that it was a bit like parking, all a question of geometry, and Mummy alluded to a hose pipe and a rather happy daffodil. I never realised they got on top of each other, mounted, serviced, knelt down, bent over, riding, bucking, peeking, thrusting, licking, sucking, blowing. No one mentioned this. Or the stink of gas, sweat, the aniseed of raw meat, the question of residue. Still, I maintain my search for limbs that tuck away neatly. A hint of French parfum, the smooth glide of a pearl-handled butter knife. I am, after all, an idealist, fonder of a little like Mozart, and the gasp that follows the opening of a small velvet box. Thank you. So I don't know if anybody in the room at the moment is considering the purchase of the small velvet box and the contents therein. Yes. How much do you think a nice? I'm not going for the huge thing. A nice engagement ring will set you back. 500 quid maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a cheaper alternative. But I have just published, or just had published, a poetry pamphlet called The Velvet Box. Okay, yeah. A £5. Now sit with me here, people, because if you purchase this poetry pamphlet and then present it to your potential partner, I guarantee that the response you get will give you a pretty accurate indication of exactly how long that marriage could last. So I reckon this is cheap at the price myself. So anyway, there's loads in it about chocolate, sex and holidays. most important subjects in the world, as far as I'm concerned. So come see me after if you'd like one. And yeah, I shall do another piece. In fact, I shall do another piece from the book. I was going to do a really good segue there and it went a little bit wrong. But I'm going to press ahead anyway, because I'm professional like that. Who here likes cake? If you like cake, yes. I like cake too. But do you know what? Cake also really likes me. It likes to sort of hug me around here and here. Not so much here, which I find disappointing, even if I eat a lot of Belgian buns. Nothing. But, you know, crunchy with the smooth, eh? But I like cake so much, I wrote an entire show about it called Evie and the Perfect Cupcake, which I've just taken to Edinburgh and had a lot of fun doing. And so I thought I'd give you a piece from the show, give you a little flavour of it. No? Yeah. I was going to say morsel, then I went for flavour, but maybe morsel's better. Yeah. Don't really give a shit, do you? Just get with the poem, said I. Yeah, I will. Consider the cupcake. Consider its curves, its whips, its whirls. Consider the glint of its frosting, the way it tickles your fancy, whispering, "Lick me." Consider you promised not to eat them again, but the ache in your gut insists you're hungry for something, and it's just an ickle cupcake, whispering, "Lick me, lick me." And the hollow grows with every glance, your conscience and desire in an intricate dance, because you're hungry for something, and the more you say no, the more you want to. The more you say don't, the more it shouts do. You're hungry for something, for God's sakes, lick me, lick me, lick me. So pick off the casing, heart racing, leech rip, stick your finger in the icing, let your teeth penetrate, close your eyes, dream of parties back when life was fun, as its sweetness disperses on your impatient tongue. So you've licked. Deed done. Your stomach seems full, but your mind screams more. And as you've broken your promise anyway, stick another in your mouth, even faster than the last. No time to feel queasy, no time to grasp that you're starving for something much larger than cake, plugging the gap with carbohydrates produced by the wiles of sugar and glaze, caught in a spiral you thought was escape. Next you'll be stroking your chin, and then I know, like I'm a poetry goddess. Really simple. So if you've heard that and you thought, oh wow, I'd really like to hear the whole of the show, but Tina's not doing it anymore, you can! I made a CD of the entire show! Yay! So if you prefer hearing your poetry rather than reading your poetry, come and get a CD. Okay. It's dreadfully mercenary poetry. I mean, you know, we're just such great big corporations with all profit-driven. Just trying to buy a cheese sandwich, in fact. So I'm going to give you one more. This is a love poem. You have to sort of work your way up to love poems. I am married to a very lovely man, pointing the video camera at me, but I was single for a long time before I was married. But you know, I'm a very proactive person. I like to keep my hand in, and so I did. Some of you got that. Good, somebody's awake! Yay! So I like to do quite a lot of research, and I did a lot of research by watching Hollywood rom-coms. Okay, newsflash. Not a lot of reality in a Hollywood rom-com, but you know, there was a little bit of me that really wanted that to be real, and so it took me a bit of time when I was first married to sort of bridge the gap between the fantasy I had in my head and the reality I was living in. And so I wrote this a piece just to get to the sort of, just to try and work out a little bit about one tiny element of what love actually is. It's morning. So I go to the kitchen and find you have left me dirty wine glasses filled with smashed pistachio shells. I put the milk back in the fridge and rinse out Tupperware, greasy with congealing curry sauce. I call these things love tokens. Symbols of your devotion. And I call them that because cursing you when you leave last night's late night snack everywhere hurts me, not you. On the landing stands a stack of bank statements, wage slips, credit card offers and bills that you claim and have claimed for some time you will deal with soon. The top sheet is sun-bleached and dust puffs off them as I brush past more love tokens. Symbols of your devotion, and I call them that because cursing you when you leave your shit everywhere hurts me, not you. Next, I visit the bathroom. Oh, madam, you're with me, aren't you, sister? Next, I visit the bathroom. There are damp socks in the sink and dark matter clinging to the porcelain, which I know you'll say will wash away by itself if we just flush enough times. Even more love tokens, symbols of your devotion, and I call them that because cursing you when you leave your actual shit everywhere hurts me, not you. I could say these things mean you don't care. Present them as evidence that you don't meet the standards agreed by normal people. But instead, I call them love tokens. Because cursing you when you don't behave the way I want you to hurts me, not you. Bruises me, not you. Punishes me, not you. Besides, I made a promise to love all of you. And true, I didn't know exactly what that entailed, but at least I'm learning what not to do, like cursing you for simply being you. Thank you very much.